All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down a blueprint for building some serious wealth, even if, you're not pulling in a six-figure salary. And look, this isn't about getting lucky or winning the lottery. This is all about a proven strategy, a strategy that totally normal people have used to completely flip their financial lives upside down, in a good way. I mean, does this hit close to home for you? That feeling, it's like you're stuck on a hamster wheel, right? You're working so hard just to stay exactly where you are. It's that classic paycheck to paycheck cycle that just traps so many of us, where you feel like there's never, ever enough left over to actually get ahead. But what if I told you that this exact situation is actually the perfect place to start if you want to become a millionaire? Yeah, I know, it sounds totally backwards, right? But think about it. Feeling that financial pinch, really wanting something more, that's not a weakness. That's your launch pad. It gives you the fire, the motivation you absolutely need to make a real lasting change.
So, where do we even begin? Well, the very first step, it actually has nothing to do with spreadsheets or budgets. Nope. It's a fundamental shift in how you even think about money. It's all about a total millionaire mindset shift.
And this right here is the absolute core of it. We're all conditioned to focus on one thing. How much do I earn? We chase that bigger paycheck, that promotion. But the secret, the real game changer, isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. And even more important than that, it's about how you make that money you keep grow. That's where the real power lies. And if you need proof, just look at this number, $1.1 million. You might think, how? Well, that's what can happen if you invest just $250 a month starting at age 18 and just let it grow. This isn't some kind of get-rich-quick magic. It's just math. It's the slow, steady, unstoppable power of compound growth over time. It proves that starting with small, consistent amounts is literally the key to the kingdom. Okay, so that's the mindset. But how do we actually put this into practice, right? Well, the whole strategy really boils down to a super simple 4-question blueprint. If you can answer these 4 questions honestly, you'll have the key to unlock this entire path. All right, question number 1. It's the most basic one, but it's everything. Do you have positive cash flow? In other words, at the end of the month, after every single bill is paid, is there any money left over? That little bit of surplus, even if it's just a few dollars, that's your positive cash flow. And you got to think of that as the fuel for your entire wealth building engine. Without it, you're not going anywhere. Now, if your answer to that was no, please do not panic. That's totally normal. This is just your starting point. Step 1 is you have to track every single dollar. I don't care if you use an app, a notebook, whatever. You have to see where your money is actually going. You will be shocked. And once you find those leaks, you can go after the number one enemy of your wealth, high interest debt. I mean, just look at this number, 20%. That's the average credit card interest rate. Carrying a balance is like trying to climb a mountain while you're chained to an anchor. That 20% is actively working against you, day in and day out, just supping the financial life out of you. But here's where we use that millionaire mindset shift again. Let's flip this on its head. See that 20%? When you pay off that credit card, you are giving yourself a guaranteed 20% return on your money. Tell me, where else in the world can you get a guaranteed 20% return? You can't. It's the best, safest, and smartest investment you can possibly make, period. Okay, so once you've plugged the leaks and you've got that positive cash flow, we move on to question number 2. Do you split your income strategically? This is all about intention. Are you the boss of your money telling it where to go? Or is it just kind of vanishing into thin air every month? We need a plan. Now, you've probably seen this before. It's the classic 50-30-20 rule, and it's a fantastic starting point. The idea is simple. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your absolute needs. Rent, groceries, utilities. 30% is for your wants. Dining out, entertainment, that kind of stuff. And a solid 20% gets funneled into savings and investments. This is like the foundation of good financial health. But if you really want to put your wealth building on the fast track, here's the little secret. You just flip those last 2 numbers. So now it's 50, 20, 30. Your needs stay the same, but you trim your wants down to 20% so you can pump up your investments to a massive 30%. You're not just saving anymore at this point. You are pouring jet fuel on your financial fire. So we've got our expenses under control. We're telling our money where to go. So what's next? Well, now we have to work on the other side of the equation, bringing more money in. And that brings us to our third huge question. Get this, most self-made millionaires don't just have one job. They have anywhere from 3 to 7 different streams of income. Think about it. Relying on just one paycheck in today's world is, well, it's pretty risky, isn't it? The real path to wealth isn't a single-lane highway. It's paved with multiple on-ramps. Even a small new stream of income can totally turbocharge how much you're able to invest. And all of this leads us to the final, and I think maybe the most powerful question in this whole blueprint. Is your money working for you? Because look, saving money is awesome. It's step one, but it's not enough. You have to get to the point where you put that money to work. Is it just sitting in a savings account, losing value to inflation? Or is it out there, on the field, actively growing and making more money all by itself? It was actually Warren Buffett, quoting Einstein, who called it the 8th wonder of the world. Compound interest. It's that beautiful, beautiful magic that happens when your money starts having its own little money babies. It feels incredibly slow at first, I'm not gonna lie. But over time, it starts to snowball, and it becomes this unstoppable force, literally building your wealth for you while you're sleeping. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but does it really work for regular folks, people with normal jobs? The answer is 1,000% yes. Let's look at some absolutely incredible real-life stories that prove it. First up, the story of Grace Groner. She was a secretary her whole life. Back in 1935, she bought just 3 shares of stock for about $180. But here's what she did. For the next 75 years, she just held on. And every time the company paid a dividend, she just bought more stock with it. She reinvested everything. That tiny, tiny seed of $180, it grew into a $7 million fortune. That's the staggering power of time and simple discipline. And how about Ronald Reed? This man was a lifelong janitor. A janitor! He obviously didn't have a huge salary, but he lived super frugally, saved like a hawk, and just consistently, month after month, invested in good, solid companies. When he died, his community was absolutely floored to learn he'd left behind an $8 million fortune. He didn't win the lottery. He wasn't lucky. He was just consistent. You see, their success wasn't an accident. It wasn't some random fluke. It came from a simple set of repeatable habits. They automated everything so they didn't have to think about it. They were always learning. They completely avoided that trap of lifestyle inflation, where you earn more so you spend more. And above all else, they were just unbelievably patient. They let that money tree grow year after year after year. All right, so we've covered the mindset shift, we've walked through the 4-question blueprint, we've seen the proof from real people. Now it's time to make this real for you. Let's get out of the world of theory and inspiration and into a concrete action plan that you can literally start tonight. This is it. No more I'll do it later. Step 1, tonight. I want you to log every single thing you spent today. Step 2, tomorrow, find at least 2 subscriptions you don't really need and cancel them. Boom, money found. Step 3, this week, just brainstorm one, just one, idea for a side hustle. And step 4, by your very next paycheck, set up a small automatic investment. It can be $25, just start. See? These are simple, doable, but incredibly powerful steps. Because when it all comes down to it, this is the truth. You do not need a giant salary to become a millionaire. What you need is a plan. You need discipline. And most importantly, you need the courage to just start. Your future self is watching you right now. They're hoping you'll make the right choice. So, what are you going to do today?